Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make these adorable little mushroom poppets. They are so sweet, so easy to make, and my kids cannot stop playing with them, and neither can I, to be quite honest with you. So let's learn how to make them. You're going to need a 6mm hook, some chenille yarn. I've got all those details linked down below in the description box for you. So if you need anything, including the written pattern, that's all linked down below, so just check that box. Let's get into making these. Okay, so to start we're going to make a slip knot. Just like so. Pop our hook in and pull tight. We're then going to chain up 2, so 1 and 2, and the second chain from our hook, this one here, is going to be our ring. So we're going to put 6 single crochets into that ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And that's round 1 done. So you should have 6 single crochets. We're then going to put an increase in each stitch, so that means 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. So you should have a total of 12 single crochets at the end of this round. Okay, so I've just finished my first increase, and I'm going to grab my stitch marker and put that into the first single crochet of this round, so I've marked it and I know where to finish. Now I'm just going to continue working my increases in each stitch, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so I've just finished my last increase. I'm just going to pop out my stitch marker so I can mark the beginning of my next round, and for the next round we're going to put 2 single crochets into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next, and repeat that all the way around, and you should have a total of 18 stitches at the end of this round. Now on to round 4, we're going to remove that stitch marker again, and we're going to repeat that every time we do a round, and we're going to put an increase, then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So repeat that all the way around, so you should have a total of 24 single crochets, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Now on to row 5, so it's going to be another increase row, so pop that stitch marker out, 2 single crochets into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and repeat that all the way around, and you should have a total of 30 single crochets at the end of this round. Now moving on to row 6, we are going to switch out our traditional stitch marker with a scrap of yarn. And the reason why I do this is because it helps me to keep track of how many rows I'm doing. So I'm just going to put my scrap yarn over my stitch like this. And you can see at the back there. And what I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for 3 rows. So you're going to do 3 rows of just 1 single crochet. And then I will meet you when you finish doing that. And just to show you how this works, so I'm going to grab that scrap yarn, I'm going to keep it in there and just flip it over from the back to the front, and that will then mark your place and you can see how many rows you've completed. Hope this helps. Now working on row 9, we're going to start switching our colour out. So for the last stitch of this round, I'm not going to complete it. I'm going to complete it with the white yarn or with the other colour yarn that you're using. You can use cream, brown, white, it's completely up to you. But I'm using white for this one, so I'm going to slip it through. And then I'm going to tie those 2 little tail ends at the back, and those will be tucked inside your little amigurumi. So we're going to mark the beginning of this round by flipping over our yarn, our little scrap yarn there, and what we're going to do is decrease in the back loop only, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets, and for this whole round we're working in the back loop only. So I'm going to go through the back loop, and I'm not going to yarn over, I'm going to go straight down into the next one in the back loop only, and then I'm going to yarn over, pull that through both of those loops. It's a little bit tricky to begin with. There we go. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through those 2, just like a standard single crochet. And then 3 single crochets in the back loop only. 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to decrease again and then 3 single crochets. And at the end of this round you should have a total of 24 stitches. So for the next round we are going to flip our scrap yarn over to mark the beginning of our round, and we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Completely standard single crochets, no back loops, no nothing like that. And I'll meet you back at the beginning. So the next round we're going to flip over our yarn again, and we are going to work a decrease round again. So we're going to decrease this time in the front loop only. Decrease those first 2, and then we are going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. And at the end of this round you should have 18 stitches. For the next round we're going to flip over that little scrap yarn to mark the beginning of our round, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around, and you should have a total of 18 single crochets at the end of this round. For the next round we're going to flip that tail end over to mark the beginning of the round, and then we're going to do a decrease round. So we're going to decrease over the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And you're going to repeat that all the way around, so decrease, then 1 single crochet, and you should have a total of 12 single crochets at the end of this round. And for the next round we're going to flip that tail end over again to mark the beginning of the round, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. That should leave us 12 stitches at the end of this round. For the next round we're going to be decreasing in each stitch around, so decrease in the first 2, then decrease over the next 2, and repeat that all the way around, and you should have a total of 6 single crochets at the end of this round. Okay, so that's the pop part done. What we're going to do now is start increasing again. So we're going to put an increase into each stitch all the way around, and that will leave us with 12 single crochets at the end of this round. For the next round we're going to do another increase round, so we're going to put an increase in the first stitch, so that means 2 single crochets in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in the next, and repeat that all the way around. And you should have a total of 18 single crochets at the end of this round. So for this next round I'm going to take out my stitch marker because we're going to be making rounds again with a single crochet. So I'm going to take that out and pop it back on, and this way I can mark out how many rows I've completed. So we're just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for a total of 5 rows. So I'll meet you when you've completed that. Okay, so I've now completed my 5 rows of single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I'm now going to start decreasing. So I'm going to flip that tail end over, and I'm going to decrease over the next 2 with an invisible decrease, so that's just going through the front 2 loops, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, and you just repeat that all the way around. So decrease, then 1 single crochet, and you should have a total of 12 single crochets at the end of this round. Now time to attach the eyes, and the eyes that I'm using are 10mm. So we're going to find the little bit in the back where the join is and flip it round so that that's at the back. And we're going to count up our rows from the bottom. So we've got 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to put it between those 2 there. So it's between the second and the third from the bottom. And we're going to pop 1 in, and then we're going to count across 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pop it in there. So do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and pop it in. And then we're going to attach the backs, and that's your little eyes done. Okay, so now we've got those attached, it's time to start stuffing our little mushroom. So I'm just going to put my hook in here so that it doesn't come apart. And then we're going to start stuffing. So we're not going to stuff the cap, we're just going to stuff in this little part here. So just where the eyes are, just that little section. So we're going to grab our stuffing, pop it in, and we're not going to overstuff so that we can see the stuffing through our stitches, but we are going to stuff it enough so that it is nice and tight and snug in there. So just from here to here, we're going to stuff. Okay, so as you can see, I've stuffed this little bottom area, but I haven't stuffed the cap, and now I'm going to start working my stitches again. So I'm going to flip over that tail end to mark the beginning of my round, and I'm simply going to decrease in each stitch all the way around, and you should have a total of 6 single crochets at the end of this round. We finished our decrease round, we're going to pull out our scrap yarn and we're going to slip stitch to the next stitch to join. So just slip stitch through, then I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to fasten off, leaving a nice long tail so that I can weave that end shut. And we just pull up on the hook and pull tight. Now I'm going to grab my yarn needle and I'm going to weave that in. And at this point you can also mould your mushroom a little bit as well, so we're just going to push it in at the bottom here so that it sits nicely over the little mushroom head, and the cap fits lovely. And you'll have to defluff a lot too. But that is how it works. A nice little poppet mushroom. So to weave in my ends, I simply go through the front loop only of each stitch around, and then I come back again through the front loop only, pull it through, come back again through the front loop only, pull it through, and you repeat that all the way around until you've got all 6 stitches. And once you've got them all, you're going to go down through the base of the next stitch and pull your needle through there, and then you can pull tight. Then we're just going to knot it to make sure it stays in place, so I'm going to put it back down through the same space again, and remember to leave that loop, pull it through, then weave in your end through your mushroom to make sure it's nice and secure, and then you can cut your tail ends. And that is how easy and simple this little mushroom is. And remember, you can always give it a bit of a squeeze, a bit of a mush around as well to make sure you have it exactly how you'd like it. But it's as simple as that, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below and say hi, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.